The Weatherhead is a lot of things.
Weatherhead is a hub. I think of it as a network, and I think of it as a community.
The Weatherhead is keeping its hand on the pulse of East Asia, is the one-stop shop place for you to go if you want to know anything about East Asia.
The Weatherhead East Asian Institute is a place for the study of East Asia and interchange with East Asia in a global context.
The Institute was founded in 1949 when there was a focus on area studies and understanding East Asia as a geopolitical bloc.
Well, it may be hard to imagine now, when everyone knows about Asia, that there was very little knowledge about Asia in the United States before World War II.
Originally, the focus was primarily on China and Japan. By 1989, we established the Center for Korean Research. Now we're moving in even newer directions.
We are expanding to include the regions of Southeast Asia. We're moving out to what some people previously would have thought were the margins of East Asia, but really are incredibly important.
When I began my career as an academic, the Vietnam War was really studied as a U.S. event. Now, as a result of places like Weatherhead East Asia Institute, we understand the Vietnam War as an event in Vietnamese history, and its impact is something that affects not only America, but the region and the world as a whole.
20 years ago, we started the Modern Tibetan Studies program here, and it meant that for the first time, Research University in America was funding the study of modern Tibetan language in the contemporary context. The library here, the Star East Asian Library, with Weatherhead support, started collecting contemporary Tibetan publications as soon as they opened up. And Columbia was in a position to start gathering those materials, which is why we now have the best Tibetan library collection in the world. Better than the Library of Congress, better than anywhere in China, better than anywhere in Europe.
And at the same time, we've also expanded in terms of the disciplines that we encompass.
When Weatherhead was first founded, there was a handful of scholars who primarily focused on policy and politics. Now, in the 21st century, we have a much more diverse community. We've grown tremendously. We have over 50 faculty spread across all corners of the university. They cover all sorts of disciplines and approaches in their study of East Asia.
Being amongst scholars who are so diverse in their interests, in their training, in their disciplines, has actually made me grow as a scholar because it's forced me out of my comfort zone to understand different parts of East Asia.
I'm in an East Asian Regional Studies program called Marcy at the Weatherhead East Asian Institute. I think there were several reasons I chose Columbia, not least because of the fact that it's in New York City, and I think that gives you really, as a scholar, unparalleled access to a lot of resources, both academic and non-academic.
Here we can bring that together. The resources of a top-tier research university and the energy of the museums, the foundations and so forth that are all here in New York come together in a special way.
We don't just serve the university. We have a program called Asia for Educators, which supports spreading knowledge about Asia to teachers who teach at the level of K through 12.
It's really become an even more vibrant place than it was when I first got here.
It's hard to explain the kind of alchemical magic that the Institute works on people. But it does, and it has over generations, and it does over people from different countries and different backgrounds.
So long as this region remains vibrant, dynamic, and important in world issues, Weatherhead will always be relevant and important.